Hey, welcome to Putting the Real in Real Estate for real estate agents. Today, we are talking about our third topic in a series about knowing your numbers. And today, what is it, Danielle?
It is down payments.
Down payments.
So
We see a lot on the boards where a lot of realtors have the same misconceptions that a lot of clients do, I think.
yeah, so we went through, we talked to our lenders, our trusted lenders, and we got a little bit of information about the various programs. Now, of course, overall, we're aware of the FHA and the VA and the conventional loans out there, but we talked a little bit about the USDA program. It's not something that all of the realtors in our area, since Ruth's definitely in the suburbs, I'm kind of on the outer banks of the suburbs. And of course, we have a wide variety of places we cover, but not everybody in our area is aware of USDA loans. So we wanted to make sure that that was brought up as well, because that is a 0% down program, and that caters a little bit more to low income, lower or higher debt to income ratio, lower credit score buyers out there. And as prices are continuing to rise for several years here, I am seeing, especially in the outskirts area where I live, more and more people needing to go out farther west. And a lot of the surrounding areas, once you get out of my city, is eligible for the USDA program. So I think that is, something that I need to know to share with my farm, with the people who live near me, who are my target audience. So we need to talk about that. And then we also have various down payment assistance programs. So the Illinois Illinois Housing Department Authority, also known as IDA, offers probably decidedly three. There might be about two others. I'm not sure if they're definitely associated with just the Illinois Housing Department or if they're lender specific.
Yeah, and some lenders do some, and some do
Right.
all, and some don't do any IDA. It kind of depends on the lender. And if you're in another state, your state may or may not have something similar. But this is essentially it's typically looks like a loan, and the buyer has to meet certain requirements. They need to go to how to be a homeowner class. They need to meet income requirements, and then sometimes the property needs to meet requirements as well. Once that's all been ascertained, then they can decide which of the products fits them best. Most are forgivable if, again, the buyer meets requirements, which it's almost like a Homestead Act. A buyer needs to remain living in the property as their primary residence for a certain amount of time. And so typically after 3 years, if they were to sell, they would owe back a percentage of that.
Correct.
Down payment. After 5 years, it may be completely forgiven. And these, I'm saying maybe because these terms change and they vary slightly, so we don't want to quote anything too specific, but that's a pretty good idea of how the product works, how the program works.
Absolutely. So we wanted to be able to tell our clients out there, especially if things are getting tighter and tighter, as far as what they can afford, that there's other programs out there that do not require. And there was about 30 seconds there in our markets where some of the sellers were paying closing costs or paying down rising interest rates. But our market is still tight here. We are still seeing elevations in pricing. We're still seeing multiple offer situations. So for people who need that little assistance and who cannot at this point in our market ask for closing costs, these type of programs are sometimes, the deciding factor on if they can buy or not. So the more they understand that home buying could be for them, and the more programs and the more we know to share with them, and and the better relationships we have with various lenders that we like and work well with, the better chances we are to get somebody buying a house.
And this is also where we get to be that source of the source, right? We don't need to know all about all of these products. As a matter of fact, I would urge you strongly not to try to know all about all of these products. They change daily. And that's the job of your trusted lender. So make sure that you have somebody on your lending team, maybe more than one person, who can fit these various circumstances. So if you occasionally have somebody who's buying rural property, you're going to want to have a lender who's very well versed in USDA loans so they can offer that as a possibility if it fits. If you have somebody, our IDA loans tend to be by areas where median income is a certain amount. And so if you are in proximity with areas where that specific loan works, then make sure you have a lender who is very well versed in it. You don't have to know all the ins and outs of it. You just need to be able to refer your clients to a person who does.
Absolutely.
And then you need to have the faith in that person that they're actually going to close that loan that they say they're going to close.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we started and ended with talking about, us having great lenders that will tell them exactly what they need and that we trust and who will have their back. And it's just not somebody that they inputted some numbers and press send. And now you don't talk to the lender until, closing. Say close. So we want to explain about the relationships. Relationships are our business, and getting our clients in touch with great lenders is very high on our priority list. We are an attorney. There's numerous things. We have a team. We have attorneys. We have a whole bunch of inspectors and things like that we refer them. I think our number one most important referral is decidedly the lender.
Yep, absolutely.
So anyway, we are doing our final knowing your numbers. Yes, get me to the closing table. Exactly. We are doing our last knowing your numbers next week, and it's going to be closing costs. So we talked to them about the first portion of it, which is the down payment and knowing how much you need to bring to the table for a loan. Then there's all the other expenses. So we will see you then.
And in the meantime, make sure you know a little bit about the numbers and who to go to for all the details on the numbers.
Yes.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.